A discussion that's been resurfacing lately is the statement about microtransactions in video games again. This isn't anything new. We've seen this a lot of people complaining there being DLC microtransactions in any video game. Used to be in the old days, you would get the game and you would have it. That's it. PS2 era was probably the last era that did that. Maybe, yeah, PS2. I mean, there was probably a few examples here and there that had DLC you could buy or expansion packs even in the past on PC games. But now, instead of just buying an expansion pack, you can get DLC to extend your life of your game. You can get microtransactions to, I guess, speed up your process. And what people don't take into account is the amount of money that developers can make by putting these microtransactions, by putting all these DLCs in the video game. And it actually helps developers a lot more, and it gets a lot more revenue and extend the life and shelf of the game. Not only that, but the reason that they do that is so they can keep people employed. They can keep workers working, they keep artists developing, because a lot of people forget, a lot of consumers forget, is that this is also a business, right? This is it's more than just themselves, if you know what I mean. It's more than just that $60 purchase or that video game that you can get discounted off of eBay or whatever. It continues the life of the video game and the employees. Now, it's hard to explain this a lot to the general public, because as soon as they hear microtransactions, it's become such a stigma word that people just immediately get shunned off from it, and they start coming in with their pitchforks and knives, and they start destroying the developers and start doing everything they possibly can, when it is themselves who, or not them, but like the community that actually purchased these things. So developers wouldn't put this in a game if people weren't buying it. The thing is, people are buying this. We see this through Halo 5. Best example right now is the microtransactions, the card systems, the card packs. I don't own the game, but I know that if you buy a pack in the Warzone mode, you could use that to require like better weapons sometimes. And it's just a free-for-all fun mode that you can have. But you can also earn these packs by just playing regular matches and by saving up points to buy these cards. They also give you cosmetics too. And if you can earn this through in-game currency that you can earn without paying for it, or if you can just buy it because you don't have enough free time left because you go work 9 a.m. job to like whatever. So a lot of people, the audience, are young guys that maybe like don't work, or maybe have like a small job here and there, or just don't understand the concept of them being a company. And so what you see is a huge backlash from every community. How loyal, especially the loyal people. The loyal people are the most vocal people. And when they just want to pay once and have the game. And they can choose not to buy this microtransactions or the DLC. They can choose all that. So the reason is, why do they lash out? Because they feel, I guess, offended that they didn't get this content immediately, or that they paid once and then they didn't receive this. We saw this with the Payday 2 is a great example of this going on right now. It was like a month ago, and the backlash of the developers, they said in 2013 that they said there would be no microtransactions in the game. Okay? 2013 they said that. That's 2 years ago. And I hate how this was reported. I hate how this was covered. I hate how they're making the developers look evil and satanic or whatever. For how dare they put microtransactions in the game? How dare they? Really? I mean, the microtransactions in the game give you better loot, but it's not a player versus player game. It's a PvE game, player versus NPC. So I don't see the problem in this, and most of this is cosmetic. Most of this is just like better guns to help you with the thing, but like it's like $1.50 for this. It's not like it's like they're blocking players off completely from getting this exciting new material. It's to extend the shelf life of their video game, because 2 years ago was a completely different climate for them because they released Payday 2 2 years ago, I think. So coming out and saying, oh, well, they said they would never be microtransactions in the game. How dare they? Really? I don't know. I just hate it because people need to realize that games evolve. This is the most diverse media we have is video games, and they can be used for so many different purposes, and they evolve with the player base. They evolve over time, and we're seeing microtransactions become more and more acceptable into the gaming climate. And a lot of people out there are okay with it. They're okay with buying it. And it's this vocal minority that pisses me off a little bit because they are so content of just demolishing developers for saying stuff 2 years ago. Payday 2 is an example of this because it's a game that's already used up most of its shelf life, but they're just extending it because they want to make a little bit more money. They want to make, because they're a business. They're a business. They do this. And there's plenty of more content for everybody else. You don't have to buy this gun that has a cheetah skin on it or something. I don't play Payday 2 at all, but I'm just giving that as an example. Killing Floor 2 went through the same backlash, and it's just annoying because there are examples of good microtransaction games out there. I know League of Legends is the most popular and earliest adapter of this, and I thought it did a great business model with it. You can get essentially, if you're not familiar with MOBAs, multiplayer online battle arena games, you can get your champion and use in-game currency to unlock that, or you can pay for it, and all the skins and cosmetics are payable. Like, you pay a price, you get the skin, and they don't affect the gameplay at all in the slightest. Maybe they shrink or extend the hitbox ratio by like a minute scale or whatever, but essentially they don't impact the game at all. And another one was Smite. You pay $30 to unlock all the champions, and then you still have to pay for the in-game skins. What I think is a good business model is this, what I just explained. Providing the player an option of unlocking all these microtransactions through in-game currency, but if they want and they feel they can pay to unlock the rest of content through their wallet. And people work insane hours these days. It's crazy. It's crazy how much you work now, because with the power of technology, you can be accessed wherever you want through your boss, the power of your phone, and so you're constantly working 24/7, no matter if you want to or not, at home, at workplace. So when it comes down to you sitting down playing a game, yeah, you want to speed things up a little bit, make your character a little bit more better. You don't have to, but if you really, really want to, that option's there. And it's always good to have options for the player. It really is. All right, but microtransactions can be taken back to an extent, though. Evolves is a great example of this, of how bad you can be with DLC and microtransactions in a game, and how negatively perceived you can be shown your game as. Evolve, it came out this year, and it's gone. The player base is like totally dead. I see people that used to stream it, and now it's like one of the most lowest streamed games on Twitch or stuff like that. And it's because they came out with the business model saying, oh yeah, buy the season pass, buy all this DLC, look at all these cool skin packs you can get. By the way, you also have to pay $60 on top of the $40 season pass or something like that. It's insane stuff. $60 is a full price game, and none of this other content could be unlocked through in-game currency. It was just blocked off through the community. And I think their maps were still free for everybody, but I'm not sure about that. So there's these examples of really bad marketing too. Marketing is terrible with that game, and it was also very, very what's the word? It was hard to master that game too because it required a lot of strategy as well. Another one is Star Wars Battlefront, the famous $50 season pass for that shit. Are you kidding me? Like, $60 on top of 50 is like, that's crazy. That's insane. That's insane amount of money. $110 for the complete package for the game because the season pass has to deal with 16 other different like maps and like 4 different modes. That's like half the game that was missing, and there's no campaign. And the gameplay looks pretty shallow too. But it's up to the individual to decide through their wallet what they're gonna do, and the community is up to them how they're gonna decide on how the game is shaped and evolved. And I guess as a developer to take into account is how well you transcribe and how well you market your game to other people, and how well you show and introduce people to those microtransactions without making them seem like they're missing content. And the best way to do that is through in-game currency that they can unlock, so they don't feel pressured to buy all this stuff, like guns and skins. So I'm trying to think of any other example I have, but there's bad DLC. There's a lot of bad DLC that can be purchased, and that has hurt games in the past. Expansion packs again. That we used to have expansion packs, and now we have DLC, shorter bits of what would essentially be the whole package of the expansion pack. I think we saw that a lot of Destiny, a lot of DLC in that game as well. But microtransactions shouldn't be seen as a tool to hurt the player base and hurt the community, as long as you're a smart developer and you design your microtransactions where they will not impede the development of the game at all, or not the development of the game, but they will not impede upon the playability of the player online component as well. I think a lot of people don't like it when you have a higher, more powerful weapon against them, and this is why it's hard to monetize first-person shooter online games like Call of Duty, and that's like maps. Like, so if you made downloadable content for maps, you basically split that player base. You split that player base because now you have one side who didn't buy the new maps, and you have the other minority who did, and now those people over here don't own them and can't play with these players over here. And so you basically segregate and split them off. And so what you're seeing now is actually the maps becoming free. Maps like Halo, like all the maps are free on Halo, and now you're seeing these monetizations coming in through the cards, and all that. I think they made $700,000 by doing microtransactions. And guess what? They didn't force the player to buy those. The player bought those. The player bought that. And they actually used that money to fund the tournament coming up, the prize winnings for the Halo tournament coming up. So, all in all, it's not a scary process. It's not this scary juggernaut where it's going to destroy the game. It's going to come in here and wreck everything. Microtransactions can be a good thing, and I think it's going to be the standard moving forward in a game. And even in single-player games, we're seeing it too. But as long as you do not block off and force people to buy these, that is fine. That is fine. But if you force people to buy this shit, saying, oh, well, you can't really unlock, you can't really beat this guy, he's a higher level than you, but if you buy this gun, you can beat him, you know? It needs to be a lot more complex than that. You know, you need to have good DLC, and you have to have good monetization, microtransactions. I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say on the subject. Hopefully you don't get your pitchforks out and stone me or try to kill me or whatever. Thank you. See you later. Bye.